You're doing this right now. An invisible habit deadlier than smoking 20 cigarettes a day. And it's not what you think. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, why it's silently ruining your health, and how to reverse it starting today. Every morning we wake up and go through motions that seem harmless. We eat, maybe scroll on our phones, nod at a neighbor, or say a few words to a family member. And we think, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. But what if I told you that this very routine, this invisible lack of something critical, is leading millions toward earlier death, depression, dementia, and disease? Let me take you inside the truth I've seen unfold over years of being a physician, especially working with seniors. Meet Raj, a retired school principal, 62 years old, soft-spoken, lived with his wife and occasionally visited by his kids. He had a mild blood pressure issue but otherwise seemed fit. Then small things began happening. He'd misplace his keys more often. He couldn't recall the names of his students from just 10 years ago. He complained of joint pain even though all his scans were clear. He struggled to sleep despite no dietary changes. His family passed it off as aging. But I wasn't so sure. Raj wasn't doing anything wrong. The problem was what he had stopped doing. He wasn't engaging. He wasn't connecting. His days had become silent, not just verbally, but emotionally. And that's when I realized he was trapped in something far deadlier than any chronic illness. Chronic invisible disconnection. It's not the absence of people. It's the absence of emotional presence. You could live in a house full of family and still feel deeply alone. And this is more than an emotional issue. It's a physiological, biological, and neurological crisis. One that most people are blind to. Let me share the science in simple terms. When we experience regular, warm, genuine social interaction, whether that's with family, friends, or even a kind stranger, our body releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. These are brain chemicals that regulate our mood, our immune system, even how we feel pain. Without these interactions, our body shifts into chronic stress mode. Cortisol rises, blood vessels constrict, our immune system gets confused and starts attacking healthy cells. It becomes easier to get sick and harder to recover. Brain cells in the hippocampus, our memory center, begin to shrink. And all of this happens silently without you realizing it. In fact, recent studies have shown that social disconnection increases the risk of premature death by up to 29%. That's worse than obesity, worse than heavy drinking, and yes, worse than smoking 20 cigarettes a day. This is not an exaggeration. As someone who has sat with hundreds of patients over the decades, I've watched people deteriorate not just from what they eat or what they do, but from what they no longer feel. And this hits seniors the hardest, not because they don't care, but because our culture makes them invisible. After retirement, many feel like their usefulness has expired. Their roles change, their routines fade, their community shrinks. But inside, they still crave connection, just like anyone else. Now let me tell you about Sushila, a 58-year-old widow whose children had moved abroad. She had everything: money, a nice apartment, a daily maid, her health. But she was declining fast. No interest in food, insomnia, mood swings, memory lapses. She would sit in front of the TV for hours, barely absorbing anything. Her lab reports were clean. Her heart was fine. Her brain MRI was normal. But she wasn't. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like I'm disappearing." And she was, not physically, but emotionally and neurologically. What she lacked wasn't medicine, it was meaning, and meaning often comes from connection. So what did we do? Nothing fancy. We didn't change her medications. We introduced weekly storytelling sessions at the community center. She started sharing her recipes with young mothers. She connected with a group of senior women to go on evening walks. And like a light being turned back on, she lit up. Her sleep improved. Her appetite returned. Her memory sharpened. This wasn't a miracle. This was biology responding to emotional nutrition. You see, loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about being unseen. And that feeling sets off a cascade of stress reactions in the body. It raises blood pressure. It makes your brain hyper alert, unable to rest. It increases inflammation. the root of nearly all major diseases, heart attacks, diabetes, even cancer. We treat these illnesses with pills, but the true antidote might be a heartfelt conversation or a shared meal. But here's where it gets more troubling. Social disconnection doesn't feel urgent. Unlike a fever or chest pain, it doesn't scream, it whispers. It convinces you, I'm fine. I don't need anyone. And before you know it, your mind and body begin to adapt to isolation. Your emotional muscles weaken, your willingness to reach out fades, and with it, your health silently declines. Now let's talk solutions, real practical steps, because this is not a guilt trip, it's a wake-up call. Step 1, identify one person in your life who makes you feel at ease. Not someone you should talk to, but someone you want to. Reach out, call them, ask how they're doing, listen, really listen, and share something personal. Vulnerability builds connection. Step 2, create a weekly ritual. It could be tea with a neighbor, a 10-minute phone call every Friday, a walk with a friend every Sunday morning. These small rituals become anchors. They keep you emotionally fed. Step 3, if you feel you have no one, then it's time to build someone. Volunteer, join a reading group, teach a child to read, help someone write a resume. When you give your time, you gain connection. Step 4, limit artificial connection. Yes, social media might make you smile, but it doesn't replace eye contact. A thumbs up on Facebook doesn't carry the healing power of real-time laughter. Make technology a bridge, not a barrier. Step 5, reconnect with yourself. Many people feel isolated not just from others, but from themselves. Journaling, prayer, meditation. These practices help you reflect and feel grounded. When you understand your own needs better, it's easier to express them and build bonds. I remember a couple, both in their 70s, who came to me saying they barely spoke to each other anymore. Not out of conflict, but because life had fallen into routine silence. We did one simple thing. They started eating breakfast at the table, phones off, TV off. Just 15 minutes. Within a month, their sleep improved, their blood pressure came down, and, most importantly, they started smiling again. This is how subtle it is. This is how powerful it can be. So now I ask you, what will you change today? Will you allow this invisible habit to continue draining your life? Or will you take the first step toward reconnecting with others and yourself? This is not a luxury. This is not fluff. This is as vital as drinking water, as important as breathing air. Human connection is medicine. It's therapy. It's prevention. It's the one prescription I've seen change lives faster than any pill. And here's the beautiful part. It costs nothing. Just a little time, a little presence, a little courage to reach out. So do it. Before another week passes, call someone, visit someone, sit down and really talk. Listen, laugh, cry if you have to, but do not stay silent, because silence, over time, kills. You've heard my stories, you've seen the science. Now it's your move. This invisible habit may be hard to see, but now that you can see it, don't ignore it. Fix it. Reclaim your health, your joy, your connection. And if this video helped you see something clearly, share it. Help someone else break free from the quiet prison of isolation. Because together we heal, one conversation at a time. Choose connection. Choose life. Fix this now.